Life is concentric wave spheres. And so it is. But is it really what you think it is? No, for in human form, you are often unable to see the bigger picture, so to speak. And so what you see, what you think, is merely your perception of what is. There is so much more, but the limitations of physical form make it difficult to see or comprehend beyond. But it is possible, if you choose, to transcend your human form to get a peek, a glimpse of the beyond. Go to the center, go within, and find your still point, your anchor. Imagine when you throw a stone into the water, you see waves emanate from the place where the stone hits the water. The stone is the center of the emanating waves. Life is like that. A center, a single point from which all emanates outward. Imagine if you were merely this point, this center point, for all of your life emanating outward. Imagine if that is who you truly are. Everything you said, everything you did, everything you thought, everything in your human life emanated outwards from this center point. The more life experiences you had, the bigger your circle or sphere of emanating concentric waves became. What if after your human lifetime expression ended, your wave ball still existed in the cosmos? What if all life was merely a series of wave orbs? Everything that ever was, everything that is, everything that will ever be, is really just a vast, infinite collection of concentric wave bubbles. And at the center of your sphere, at the center of all spheres, is a point, a singular point that all life emanates from. What if that center point, let us call it the source, was the point where life originated from? But of course, life is so expansive. There is so much life in the many universes. But what if all life was the same from the perspective of its creation? What if the source of all life was merely a center point from which waves of energy originated? What if that principle applied not only to human life, but life on all planes in all the universes? So does that mean that all life is an infinite number of concentric wave globes, you ask? And we would say yes. But the most important part of the wave sphere is the center point, the source of all the energy in that wave orb. And what if that center point, the energy source, stopped creating, stopped pulsating? Then would the waves of the sphere cease to exist? If you look at your human life from this perspective, you might presume that your physical form, or some part of that form, is at the center of your energy ball, and all your human lifetime experiences might merely be waves emanating from the energy source. And following your presumption, you might think that when your human form ceased to exist, then the source of your sphere would cease as well. You might assume that when your human life ends, your concentric wave sphere ends as well. But that is not the case. No, there is no part of your human form that is the source, the center of your life wave globe. So what is the energy force? What is the source, the center of our wave sphere, you ask? It is, of course, the singular source, the source of all life, the great creator, Yahweh, Hashem, the light, the King of Kings, God, or whatever you feel comfortable calling the source of all. Now, we don't want to get distracted in this teaching by moving the discussion to explaining the source of all and how it operates. For in human form, it is impossible to fully comprehend this concept. However, we may speak about this at a later time. But back to the teaching for today. If the center of your wave orb is the Almighty Source, and that source is infinite, with no beginning and no end, then it may follow that your wave life bubble will never cease to exist. It will always be present somewhere. Please note that your wave sphere, although a part, an aspect of your physical form, is not your physical form. It is beyond your form. May we suggest it is your formless part. So when the physical form of your life ceases to exist, the formless, concentric wave ball continues for eternity, because the energy source of that sphere is the source of all life, and it is infinite. The sphere of energy waves that was your physical form will float forever in the ether. Maybe that helps you understand a bit more when humans that have the gift of connecting to the beyond are able to bring you messages from your departed loved ones. Maybe what they are doing is connecting to the wave orb that was your loved one. Remember that every life wave sphere exists somewhere forever. There is, however, something more important we wish to bring forth in this teaching, and it doesn't have to do with when physical form ceases to exist. It has to do with how you can make your human sojourn a bit easier. For as we have told you, these are very difficult and challenging energetic times. These are times of great potential for change, and in order for things on your planet to change, the energy must be stirred up. We have suggested to you in this turbulent period that you take time to move above the maze of life. So now we are suggesting a way to facilitate this. If you, your human form, is really a wave sphere, and at the center of your ball is the source of all, it would follow that a part of you is that source. That part of you is beyond your physical human life. So wouldn't that be a wonderful place to go, to take refuge from the storm of life, to connect to the source of all life? What we are suggesting is to find the center of your sphere. Find the still point deep within. Find that part of you that is the source of your power, the center of your life wave ball. In order to do so, you must quiet the mind, maybe even envision a circle of waves originating from a single source. The image of throwing a stone in the water and watching the waves emanate outwards may be a good practice to help you with this. What you are trying to do in this technique is let go of the waves and merely focus on the center, the source. For the waves being created in your energy orb these days can be quite rough, can be quite turbulent at times. But at the center, there is calm, there is peace, there is tranquility. Find your center, find your anchor, and go there often. If you do so, you may find that the waves in your sphere may be a little less rough, a bit more calm. Remember, the center of your life wave globe is the source of all. Try to make contact with that source often, and your human sojourn may be a bit easier. We bring you this message from a place of love. We are here for you whenever you wish to connect with us. Our love for you is everlasting and unconditional.